Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Pierce County Council. Today is July 22nd, 2025, and the time is 3:01. I'd like to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Morell.
Here.
Councilmember Herrera.
Here.
Councilmember Krueger. Here. Councilmember Ayala.
Excused, but going to come through the door as soon as we get past her name, I'm sure.
I'll circle back. Councilmember Yambe.
Here.
Councilmember Denson.
Excused.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Here. Magic.
Councilmember Ayala.
Thank you. Sorry.
Are you here?
I am here.
Thank you.
You have 6 members present.
With 6 members present, we do have a quorum. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Let me do that. This afternoon, I'm going to invite Vice Chair Herrera to read to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And after the Pledge of Allegiance, we will have a moment of silence in honor of the men and women serving overseas, followed by our land acknowledgement. And the flags are behind us. If you can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We acknowledge that we are on the traditional homelands of the Coast Salish tribes. Coast Salish people have lived on and stewarded these lands since time immemorial and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step towards true allyship, and we commit to the uplifting the voices, the experiences, and histories of the indigenous people of this land.
Thank you, Vice Chair. We are now at Section 4, which is approval of our regular agenda. Is there any objection to our agenda as presented? Seeing none, we'll consider our agenda approved. On today's council agenda, there'll be multiple opportunities for public engagement and public comment. During the consent agenda, you may provide comment on any final action item. This does not include items then for scheduling, and I will come back to that when we get to that portion. And then during Section 8 on the agenda, we'll take public comment on the proposed resolution. And then finally, under community forum, which happens at the end of the meeting, there'll be opportunity for any member of the community, anyone in chambers or online, to address the council for up to 3 minutes on anything that they feel is pertinent to Pierce County. And if you want to know more about the rules, there is the fine print at the bottom of page 1 on your agenda. We now have before us the consent agenda. On today's consent agenda, there is 1 set of minutes and 2 appointment resolutions. And we do have some members of the community that are going to serve on that, but I'm going to look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as written, unless any member wants something pulled up. Ask first.
Okay, Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as presented. This afternoon, we are joined by Ashley Magnum, who is seeking the appointment on the Birth Advisory Board. If you'd like to come to the podium and introduce yourself, surprised you didn't know this would be an opportunity. We don't need a presentation or anything. It's just introduce yourself and why you want to serve.
Well, thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thank you, County Council. My name is Ashley Mangum, she, her. Many of you know me through my work as the Director of Kids Mental Health Pierce County, which started as a coalition back in 2018, and really working hard to streamline behavioral health services for school-age kids here in Pierce County. But what many of you may not know is I was born and raised here in Pierce County. Joined here today with my mom, and as we were driving here, we were reflecting on some of our experiences of growing up here and so many services that we navigated as a family that really wrapped their arms around us when we experienced some really challenges. And so I think besides the work that we do with kids, I'm really excited for the opportunity to give back to the community that did so much for me. And even just standing in here is overwhelming. I'm choking up, remember just being a young social worker and just the journey. And this is just a full circle moment for our community. And I'm just really proud to be a part of it. So you can't vote no at this point.
Well, thank you for your service in the many different hats that you wear on behalf, and I was excited to see your name come before on this board, so appreciate that. I'm going to see if anyone has any questions. Okay, I'm not seeing any. And then I don't see in the room, but I'm just going to check, is there anyone here to seek appointment for the Arts Commission? I know most of these people and I don't see them here. Anyone online from the Arts Commission? I didn't see any names. Did you, Mr. Dominique? Okay. Seeing none, then we are going to do our formal process here. Ms. Magnum, thank you for being willing to take on one more role, and you can sit down. So seeing no one else wishing to ask questions, we are going to go to a public comment on the adoption of the consent agenda. If anyone would like to address the council on the adoption of the consent agenda, which includes the appointment of Ms. Magnum along with our Arts Commission and the set of minutes, you have 3 minutes. You can come to the dais. No, not the dais. Today, words have been really, really hard for me, and I don't have the excuse of not only having 4 hours of sleep. That was last week, so I don't have an excuse today. So I'm not seeing anyone in chambers get up. Mr. Dominique, do you want to go online?
Yes, Madam Chair. For any member of the public that would like to provide comment on today's consent agenda, please press the raised hand icon in Zoom or *9 on your telephone keypad. But no hands at this time, Madam Chair.
No hands raised. We will close public comment on the consent agenda, and we have a motion to approve the consent agenda. So I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll on approving the consent agenda.
Councilmember Morell.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Cruver.
Aye.
Councilmember Ayala.
Aye.
Councilmember Yambe.
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Aye.
You have 6 ayes, 0 nays.
With 6 ayes and 0 nays, the motion is adopted. Thank you, Ms. Magnum. And that's it. We'll get in touch. You don't have to hang out with us unless you want to, but we appreciate all you do. So, yeah. We have no messages from the executive or other county officials, so we're going to go to proclamations, recognitions, and awards. And today we have a proclamation of the Pierce County Council and executive proclaiming July 26, 2025 as American with Disabilities Act Day in Pierce County. Chris Dowling is here with us this afternoon to accept on behalf of this amazing group of people that work for us. So if you would like to come to the podium, we would love to have you there. And there you are, Councilmember Yambe, you are reading this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All right. A proclamation of the Pierce County Council proclaiming July 26, 2025 as Americans with Disabilities Act Day in Pierce County, Washington. Whereas the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, was signed into law on July 26, 1990, establishing a clear and comprehensive national mandate for the elimination of discrimination and the assurance that people of all abilities can engage fully in their communities. And whereas Pierce County recognizes and supports this clear mandate and continually works to expand opportunities by reducing barriers. And whereas the Pierce County Council has enacted key ordinances such as number 2013-43 and number 2014-11 supporting the Aging and Disabilities Resources and Developmental Disabilities Advisory Board, which plays critical roles in program planning, funding allocation, service evaluation, and community education. And whereas ordinance number 2014-10 established the Accessible Communities Advisory Committee, advising the county on accessibility needs in emergency planning, infrastructure projects, pedestrian routes, elections, and voter access while promoting disability awareness and inclusion. And whereas on February 19, 2019, the Pierce County Council approved resolution number R 2019-161, adopting the ADA transition plan for public rights-of-way, identifying accessibility needs in county-owned public facilities, and outlining a strategic investment plan to achieve compliance. And whereas the 2024-2025 Pierce County biennial budget continued to support and enhance developmental disabilities programs within the Human Services Department, including early support for infants and toddlers, supported employment, community inclusion, and leadership development for all self-advocates. And whereas Pierce County has demonstrated a commitment to inclusive recreation by allocating $50,000 towards a state-of-the-art inclusive playground in University Place, fostering play and social connection for children of all abilities. And Whereas the Pierce County Council and Executive honor the tireless advocacy of individuals and organizations in and out of Pierce County government, championing disability rights and inclusion, and whereas on this 35th anniversary of the ADA signing, the Pierce County Council and Executive acknowledge the significant progress made since the ADA was enacted and reaffirm our commitment to advancing equity, access, and inclusion. Now therefore, be it proclaimed on this 22nd day of July 2025 by the Pierce County Council and Executive that July 26, 2025 is hereby designated Americans with Disabilities Act Day in Pierce County, Washington. We urge all community members to join in our continued commitment to make the ADA's goals of equity and inclusion a reality for people with disabilities in Pierce County, Washington. Signed, the Pierce County Executive and the Pierce County Council.
Let's give them a hand. Well, Ms. Dowling, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful lead-in. So I just want to reiterate that it was only 35 years ago that the American Disabilities Act was signed into law. 35 years. So this landmark legislation prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life. That includes employment, transportation, housing, and access to various government programs and services. With 1 in 10 Pierce County residents being diagnosed with a sensory, emotional, psychiatric, cognitive, and/or physical disability, and that doesn't include those who haven't been diagnosed yet, we're looking at about 100,000 of our citizens who face just the barriers that come with living with a disability. And so I would just challenge us, and I think that just you doing this proclamation today just shows like how dedicated we are at Pierce County to taking the time to actively learn about and consciously consider the barriers that such a large portion of our population struggle with. This is especially vital when we're communicating with our customers, making policy, funding, planning decisions, designing ways for our community members to connect with us or apply for services, deciding which agencies to contract with. It's also so crucial that we encourage people with disabilities to apply for positions within Pierce County and other jurisdictions, as well as serve on our advisory boards and committees. Having worked with several members of my team that have disabilities, the strength that they go through to live in a world that doesn't necessarily see the world with the lens that they live in, and the way that they have to adapt to the way that we all live, is so inspiring, and I think that it can only help us all rise as a community if we continue to hire and just recognize the contributions that people with disabilities bring to our community. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the words and for the work that you do on behalf of those living in our community who either have a disability or love someone that has a disability.
Absolutely.
And I like to remind people that most of us at some point will have a disability, because as one of the things that happens as you age is your mobility changes or your eyesight changes. And so we end up being one of those 100,000 people. And so we need to appreciate the things now, but plan for the future. So appreciate you being here. I'm going to look to my colleagues for any additional comments. Not seeing any. So we are going to do a photo.
Great.
And we'll make sure this gets shared with your team. You come up here, sorry.
Thank you.
I just assume everybody watches our meeting and knows how we work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is such an honor. Okay. Fantastic.
So we know how to get a hold of you.
This opportunity. Truly. And thank you. Thank you.
Go to the other side. Everybody.
All right, I'm going to get one more. All right, perfect.
So much, everybody.
Thank
Truly.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have the opportunity today to honor a second individual, an employee, a longtime employee of Pierce County. So this afternoon, we would like to recognize both the council and the executive, Sally Badensky. Was I close? I good enough? Okay. They wrote it phonetically, but I could have asked. So, but she's been part of our juvenile court system for 33 years and has been just an amazing advocate for youth in our county. So we have a proclamation to honor her because she is saying goodbye to employment, but hopefully not goodbye to the team and the work and the mission. I'll just put that plug in there, unsolicited. And we're going to go to Councilmember Ayala to read this.
Thank you, Chair. I hear we have a retirement party at 4:30 to get to today, so we want to make sure you are there for that. And it's Badansky? Yes. Perfect. All right. A proclamation of the Pierce County Council and Executive recognizing Sally Badansky for 33 years of dedicated service to Pierce County Juvenile Court. Whereas Sally Badansky has been a tireless advocate, trusted leader, and source of inspiration throughout her 33 years of service at Pierce County Juvenile Court. Her career included key roles as a juvenile probation counselor in early intervention and intake unit, as the JRA diagnostic coordinator, and most recently as the Family and Juvenile Court Improvement Program coordinator. And whereas Sally brought with her deep institutional knowledge, unwavering professionalism, and a fierce commitment to doing what is right, even when that wasn't easy. She consistently challenged the status quo, driven by a belief that our court system should be more just, more compassionate, and more effective. And whereas its legacy is visible throughout the court, from system innovation like Early Childhood Court, Indian Child Welfare Court, and Early Parentage Project, a reunification day celebrations, to the small but meaningful details like lobby snack baskets. Sally's influence has extended statewide through her contribution to work groups implementing House Bill 1227 and other major shifts in child welfare. And whereas Sally has been described as a person who sees herself connecting people to important information and resources, with her unique leadership style marked by humor, humility, kindness, and profound belief in people. And whereas, because of Sally, juvenile court is more connected, more collaborative, and more rooted in the values of justice and equity, she leaves behind a legacy of meaningful change and a court system that is undeniably stronger because of her. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed on this 22nd day of July 2025 by the Pierce County Council and Executive that we recognize and thank Sally for her extraordinary service, unshakable spirit, and immeasurable impact as she has made throughout her remarkable career. Sign the executive and the council.
Again, well, thank you for your service. Let's give her a hand. So,
Thank
Sally?
you so much. It's been a fun, fabulous 33 years, and I wore my clean out the desk shirt today. I had no idea I was before the county council, so this is quite an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I would invite anyone else from the juvenile justice team if anybody else wanted to speak.
Yeah, I'll just say something
Okay.
really quickly. My name's Buffy Bia, and I've had the honor of supporting Sally over the last end of her career at juvenile court. At juvenile court, we have amazing employees. Every single one of them deserves a proclamation in their own, but Sally stands out. You heard her accomplishments. She will not take responsibility for any of those things. It really is a team effort, but Sally is the backbone behind all of those things moving forward in Pierce County, and the reason why juvenile court is innovative and among the best. So thank you, Sally.
Thank you. I'm going to look to my colleagues for any comments. We'll go to Councilmember Krueger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say we have never met, but I can't imagine, what you've been through all these years, and I'm pretty sure you probably thought this day wouldn't ever come this soon. It's amazing how quickly time goes. And, you know, you were dealing with kids in a season where they know more than we do, and it's got to be very challenging. But I'm wondering if you don't have a story of one that really touched you, that was successful, that you could maybe share, because there's probably a lot of winners that happened over the years, and it's always inspirational to hear a success story.
Well, you know, I'd probably share, like, in my most recent role as a court improvement coordinator, working on the dependency side of the court, you know, and working with early childhood court, seeing parents that maybe have had their kids removed previously and had their rights terminated on those kids, and coming back having services, and their light bulb illuminates above their head, and they get it, and they get reunification with this next case. So I would just share, you know, some of those stories when people may have given up, we're really seeing a fresh look at how we're approaching people. And so, you know, seeing those moms and dads that have that second chance and are rocking it. And we know when we have parents that are healthy, raising healthy kids, our community is healthy.
Well, it's going to be quite an empty seat left, because you seem to be very gifted at bringing out the best, and you are appreciated, and thank you. Thank you for bringing this forward into our attention, for all the work you've done. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for the comments. We'll go to Councilmember Yambe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I too will echo that, you know, before this, we normally don't get these requests as often, and I'm kind of thinking, hey, this is a great idea. And so thanks to the staff and your teams for bringing this to our attention, because there's a lot of things that happen, and I think at the county and day by day, and that, you know, it adds a more human element and a human touch to institutions that aren't always thinking about that aspect. So, Sally, I want to thank you for your 33 years of service to the people of Pierce County, deeply from the bottom of my heart. I think that in a time that public service and public servants, it's a thankless career as it is, and I think that there are trends in directions that say that, you know, these are you know, not important positions, and I beg to differ, and I think that you're an example on how that public service is one of the most high callings that we can do, to serve other people and to serve our communities. And even the little elements of the food and the lobby, thinking about these things that our institutions don't always think about that. And we think about, you know, the core functions, but we don't think about the little human touches that make interacting with our offices and our government feel a little bit more human. And so just those examples alone show that you go above and beyond the call that you are called to do. And so it's greatly appreciated. And I thank you for your service, and I hope that you can enjoy your retirement.
Thank you for your comments. Sally, I will just conclude with my gratitude as well. I had the opportunity to be at the National Association of Counties a couple weeks ago, and the Annie E. Casey Foundation was speaking to all of these county electeds across the country, and shouted, like, their whole thing was like all the great stuff that's going on in Pierce County. And I know that you, your love and your dedication and your energy and your willingness to think kind of how do we improve the systems is one of the reasons that I know your team wanted to honor you. So I do love the t-shirt. I'm not retiring. I'm a future full-time Nana. It's awesome. And I look for that in and of itself, as I hear, is a full-time job. So I wish you the best on that next chapter. And we're going to invite you to come up and take a photo. And Mr. Dominique, can we do one with just her and then one with the team?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. So she has one to remember as well. And so team, you're going to come up after we do a photo with her if you want to kind of get ready. We're going to have you right underneath the seal and then.
Okay, and I can cover up this fine
It's okay.
outfit
It's
that I
okay.
wore today.
It's all good.
Awesome, thank you. And then
Okay.
if anyone wants to come up and get a photo?
I told Crystal you can Photoshop in, something nicer.
You have a nice proclamation in front of it. You're good.
Yay, Sally Perkins.
Here, I can,
all the great
Yeah, I can send you guys the
There's
photos.
a couple of you on this side.
Where do you want
Thank
to
you.
Wherever you want to be.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yep, that looks good.
wait. Okay, we did it again.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Good luck. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Is that someone's bag? Oh, that's her bag. Okay. So we are at section 8, which is resolutions. Before us this afternoon, we have R 2025-170. I'm going to look to Councilmember Ayala for a motion.
Thank you, Chair. I move proposal R 2025-170.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve R 2025-170. Can the clerk please read in the record?
Proposal number R 2025-170, a resolution of the Pierce County Council authorizing the Pierce County Planning and Public Works Department to accept funding from the Recreation Conservation Office for the Pierce County Lead Equity 2025-2027 program.
Thank you. And this afternoon we have, I see Mr. Swanson. My notes say Mr. Boki. So is it Mr. Swanson? Okay. There we go.
Thank you, Chair Hitchen. The proposal before the council this afternoon would acknowledge Pierce County's intention to apply for the state's Recreation and Conservation Office Lead Entity Program for the 2025-2027 cycle. It would also authorize designated county officials to submit the application on behalf of Pierce County. The Washington State Salmon Recovery Act of 1998 created 25 watershed-based groups called Salmon Recovery Lead Entities. These entities are responsible for developing local watershed strategies, recommending projects for funding to the Salmon Recovery Funding Board, and then coordinating the implementation of funded projects. Pierce County has been designated the lead entity for watershed resource inventory areas 10 and 12 since the inception of the program. And those do fall within the Puget Sound Salmon Recovery region. As part of the grant process, RCO requires local legislative bodies to adopt a resolution supporting the application in 2 years. The county's current authorization for the lead entity program was approved under Resolution R 2023-126. This authorization did expire June 30th of 2025. I would note that we are still able to bill against the next cycle on the state grant for work that was done between July 1st and when this resolution is approved. We're just not currently billing on it, but once approved, we can do a look back on that. The proposal before you would renew this authorization and then would allow the county to apply for funds under that RCO grant program for the next 2-year cycle. That date would run, again, backdated to July 1st and then through June 30th of 2027. Both a fiscal and equity analysis have been completed and are included in your packet. You'll notice the fiscal note does say there's no or de minimis fiscal impact. However, the grant for an RCO lead entity will be approximately around $300,000 for the next 2-year period. A public hearing was held on this proposal in the Rules Committee last week, where this proposal was forwarded with a do pass recommendation. And with that, Madam Chair, council staff, and we also have Ms. Lisa Spurrier from Planning and Public Works are available to answer any questions members may have.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. I'll look to my colleagues to see if there are any questions for staff. Not seeing any. Okay. Well, thank you to both of you for the presentation. We are going to open this up for public hearing. If you would like to provide comment on Resolution 2025-170, please come to the podium. We have no one indicating they'd like to speak in chambers, so we will go online.
For any member of the public that would like to provide comment on R 2025-170, please press the raise hand icon in Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. There are no hands at this time, Madam Chair.
With no hands raised, we'll close public comment and bring it back before the council. Is there any other comments on this resolution? Seeing none, the motion before us is to adopt proposal R 2025-170. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Yambe?
Aye.
Councilmember Morrell?
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera?
Aye.
Councilmember Krueger?
Aye.
Councilmember Ayala?
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchin?
Aye.
You have 6 ayes, 0 nays.
With 6 ayes and 0 nays, the motion is adopted. That brings us to Section 9, which is ordinance, which there is none. So we go to Section 10, which is community forum. And community forum is an opportunity for members of the community, like I said earlier, to address the council on any topic of interest or pertinent to Pierce County. You have up to 3 minutes, and we'll start in the room. Anyone would like to come? You're here, I have to ask. It's like a rule. Okay, so seeing no one in chambers, we will go online. Mr. Dominique.
For any member of the public that would like to participate in community forum this afternoon, please press the raise hand icon in Zoom or star 9 on your telephone keypad. There are no hands at this time, Madam Chair.
No hands raised. I will close community forum and look to my colleagues for any other business or announcements. I see people scrambling for Post-it notes or things they wrote down to remind themselves.
There it is.
Vice Chair Herrera.
Just real quick, I had the opportunity to attend the Pierce County Safety Summit. Really good stuff. Was with our emergency management, and we did an emergency response tabletop exercise with all sectors. The tabletop was we had a contamination of water and things like that. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Who's going to talk first? How do we communicate and things like that? So it was a really good tabletop exercise on some complicated public safety things. So
Very cool.
good.
Thank you for attending. Any other comments or announcements? So I will just add, we have a primary election going on right now. Ballots should come out. A lot of times we don't have in unincorporated Pierce County primaries going on unless there's school board elections, because a lot of times this time of year, this cycle, it's usually a lot of local things, but we have charter review. So please look into your, if you typically get a ballot and you didn't get one, please reach out to our auditor's office and make sure that you engage in your rights here in Pierce County to vote and elect people that serve you the way you hope they do. So is there any other business before us? Seeing no other business, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.